So welcome to Open Source Trading. Here we break down the market as it will happen, meaning we predict what moves are likely to happen, not what has already happened. So we are going to be focused on the dollar pairs for this week here, especially GBPUSD. And then for you to understand how we basically trade, you can just come to our YouTube. This is where we post the possible potential moves for the coming week or for the week we're in. So if you've been checking it for the last 2 weeks, we've been trading the Swiss pairs, and we analyzed them before they happen. We had also a video on entries, how to enter them. And then, of course, we made some money on the Swiss pairs. So this was the last. This is the group. You can actually check it out, and then you can be able to trade with us live. So these are the trades we are taking on the Swiss pairs and the entry for the Swiss pairs. So this was CAD Swiss, and then we also had AUD CHF, and of course the other Swiss pairs. And then I told the guys to know what to do. You take partial profits, and then you leave the rest to be able to run. This is just a highlight of the Swiss pairs and how we traded them. You can see we made some real profits, somewhere in 1%, 1 to 2, and all of that. But there was one, of course, which didn't play out well, which was CAD Swiss. So, and the whole video, like I said, it is all here, and then it's highlighted here. So today we are looking at the dollar pairs, and I want to focus on pound, especially GBPUSD. So usually what we do, we go to our highest time frame possible, which is the yearly. And I just want to show you something, and you look for highs and lows, you mark them. So if you look carefully here, you realize this was an all-time lows, and therefore this was the area of support we had. Okay, the same way you had an area of resistance here, and then another one here, and then like that as the market plays out. But today we are just focusing on what we can trade based on this. Now, if you look at the chart here, it looks like this is a bullish trend with all of these areas. There is support and market is going up, meaning we are going to do counter trading. So first thing you do, you mark your highs and then your lows. We've already marked our lows here based on the yearly, and then there is this yearly high, which the market is approaching, and that is why we are interested in trading the pound pair. Otherwise, we have other highs here, which the market has not yet reached. And of course, we had these areas as our price difference area, where we would have traded like some years back. Anyway, so now the moment we have this, we can now switch to a lower time frame. So I don't want to go to the monthly time frame yet because it has not yet closed. So I can go to the weekly time frame because the market has actually closed on the weekly. So we just okay, so just clearing this drawing. So now you don't need to bother much. So we're on the weekly, and this is our yearly resistance, and this is based on the weekly time frame. So meaning we want to be interested in trades if the market reaches to this yearly resistance. But of course, we also need to know from where the market has actually left. So we've been having these as our areas of support. And then price was able to pull back and head back up. And then we had another price difference area here. Okay, so you can see clearly here, we're still in an uptrend, and then we have another strong price difference area here on the weekly. So meaning if we find a reversal entry from here, we could actually come back to retest this. So we could have this is about 280 pips range where we can actually trade from. So once you have this, you know where to exit because the trend has not yet changed. Then we can come to one of our lower time frames, which is the 4-hourly. And on the 4-hourly, you can now clearly tell how you can actually trade. Okay, I just zoomed this big. So we have a yearly resistance here, and then we have a price difference area here, meaning if there is any pullback, we can begin to take profits around here. But now, we are not just going to jump into the markets because this is a resistance. What I want to expect is a reversal pattern around this area. So maybe like a head and shoulder, a double top, something like that, then it can give me an entry. I can take the trade, and this will be the place for fast take profits. Now, if that does not happen, maybe the market could come back and react from here. So all we need to do now on GBPUSD is to wait for a reversal pattern around this resistance here, yearly resistance, and then we can look for trading opportunities. So meaning you don't have to bother so much, you just have to wait and be patient. So if that happens, we'll send it in the group as usual. So I can pick another dollar pair, but let me just pick AUD, USD, and then maybe we can call it off. There is no point in picking all of them and explaining them. They will take us like a lot of days. So if you look at the AUD from the yearly, we see we don't have clear structure here apart from this being our low, and then we have this price difference candle. So we want to look for more patterns here, so we can come to the weekly. Or maybe let's start with the monthly. So let's come to the monthly. So on the monthly here, you can see there is a clear price difference area here. Okay, so if you don't know what price difference is, I have explained it. You just need to go to our YouTube, and then you will see the first video actually up here, which has been pinned. That is what I mean by price difference. I explained it, so you can take it there. So now, this will act also as a potential resistance area, and we saw that this lows here, this was our support, and that meaning we are doing a counter trend. We are trading against the trend, and that means we don't have to. If you get an opportunity, we may not have to swing it for long. We just enter and out. Okay, so from here we can now come to the 4-hourly, and then on the 4-hourly you can see clearly as price was approaching this resistance, we're beginning to see this slow way in which the market is approaching. Meaning now, all we need is to see if we can get a double top here or a head and shoulder, and then we can counter this, but not maybe exactly to here, just something, and then we can exit because we are trading against the trend. Okay, so maybe one more pair, but you can look at the rest of the dollar pairs. Let me just go to USD, JPY, and then we look at that, because what we want to trade is the dollar strength. We want to be able to trade the dollar strength, and then because of the opportunities we're seeing. So if you look at this, this has been the area of resistance, and that's where the market reversed from, and we have the previous yearly lows here. Okay, so this low of the year, and then maybe we have another lows here. But we shall now begin to work with the nearest low. So when I come to the weekly, you can see clearly this is an area of potential support, meaning on a lower time frame like the 4-hourly, I would look for reversal patterns around here if they can happen. And in this case, we will look for inverted head and shoulder, something like that. Once we get it, then we can look for those trades. And of course, with the rest of the dollar pairs, we just need to search and then look for those trading opportunities based on what we explained here, and then you be patient to wait for the trades. Okay, so once, of course, they are ready, I will be able, like we always do, you will find them in the group, and then we can trade them from there jointly. But that is what we have on GU and the rest of the dollar pairs. So let's see how they played out in the last days of the month, and see whether we can make some money like we've made money on the Swiss pairs and the rest of the pairs that we've always traded.